Good morning, it's Barbara. I'm gonna go out and do my vlog. We have some cleaning up to do on the table because we're supposed to be crafting today, but it is a very low-key, very quiet start to the day. We have girls and their dogs. Girls and their dogs not quite as close. Good morning. My tomatoes are getting bigger. Dennis says I gotta come and reposition this one. It keeps falling over because everything is leaning on one side. But I've got some big tomatoes. Nothing has any color yet though that I can see. But look at the mint. Ugh, I'm so excited. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. Of course, one solution to the table problem would be to come out here and do our crafting out here because it is actually really lovely with some breeze in the shade. Listen to those cicadas, holy cow. So, even though the mantra of the time is no pictures, it didn't happen, we did go to the zoo yesterday. We had a really good time. But I left my phone in the car, so there are no pictures from the zoo. But it did really happen. We'll just have to remember. They had a lot of construction going on at the zoo, and so they diverted the parking to this new area, and I didn't understand exactly what was happening, so I just parked in the first available spot. And it turns out we were at the top of a big hill that had a big long ramp going down to the entrance to the zoo. About a quarter of a mile. Which is why I did not go back to the car. When I realized I forgot my phone, I just kept going. But we had a great time. The only not loveliest time was when we were standing in line to feed the giraffes. We got hot and tired. And we didn't have to wait too long. We were a little early getting in line, so we were done quickly once everything opened up. Things have changed at the zoo. We haven't been there for more than 5 years since the kids moved to Florida. And yeah, well, for one thing, you only get 2 leaves of romaine lettuce per ticket. So it used to be 3. So that was disappointing, but the girls got to feed the giraffes. And then some of the best parts of the zoo were the misters. There were a couple of misters, and so we went and we just got wet. We just went through the misters and then sat in the shade and ate lunch. And that was a very good timing. And after that, everything was fine. But a lot has changed. You can no longer feed the goats. Apparently the goats got fat from being fed. So they're no longer being fed by the people. You can pet them, but you can't feed them. Which is just as well. I mean, there was one so fat. I said, this goat's pregnant, right? Nope, just fat. I mean, really fat. So this seemed like it was a good move on the part of the zoo. But we saw, it was warm. It was warm and a little muggy. And so all the mammals, other than the giraffes and zebras, were sleeping. They were like in the shade, chilling, you know. The red panda was the cutest thing. It was laying on top of a shelf on his blankie, and the blanket had little pictures of sloths. So he's laying there on a sloth blankie, just as cute as can be. I think red pandas may be the cutest creatures in the world. I mean, they are adorable. They aren't really pandas. I think they're in the raccoon family, but they eat bamboo, and they come from China. So that's why they're called red pandas, because they eat panda food, and they live in panda land. Anyway, so we had a very good time, but I have no pictures to show for it. The plan for today is to stay home and chill and craft and take the dogs for a walk. And we're going to take 2 cars when we take the dogs for a walk because Samantha wants to swing. And so we're going to walk the dogs, and then I'll stay in the park with Samantha so she can swing. And Yeah. And Isabel will come home with Dennis and take care of the dogs. Oh, we had movie night last night. Guardians of the Galaxy, which we had ordered last week. We thought the girls would like it, and we double checked with their parents, and it was okay. It came early, so we had movie night last night. And then I went and looked up Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and it turns out it's on TV on Friday night at 7, so I have it marked for recording, and I'm pretty sure it's on TBS, so it'll have commercials, but we can start it a little late and then fast forward through the commercials. So we are having a movie night, and Jason's coming to pick up the girls. He's going to come Friday night and stay overnight, and yeah, so we're going to have 2 movie nights, Guardians of the Galaxy Part 2. So that was a lot of fun last night. Aura thought it was funny in some parts, but it wasn't her thing. So we'll see. I'm sure she'll stay for movie night on Friday night, though. Just because, you know, it's a family event. And she did enjoy it well enough. Anyway, so today is easygoing hangout. Oh, and Isabel wants to earn some money, so I'm putting her to work weeding around my lamppost. I'm very excited about that. We'll see how that goes. But I would love to have that weeded. We did have Ruben come yesterday. Well, you knew that because I was expecting that he was here. But anyway, well, Dennis didn't talk to him about weeding, but we will do that. Because I called Manny, our Amish guy, and he said, I really don't have time. Have Ruben do it. I'm like, okay. Ruben is also Amish. Which would explain why it's not so easy for him to schedule his appointments, because he doesn't drive. He has an employee who drives him around. So, I can understand that. You know, just randomly making an appointment isn't always that easy. So, anyway, he came, talked to Dennis, has a plan, and you know, we'll get an estimate, and that'll be good. Hopefully, we can fix the problem with water coming in our basement when it really rains, because, you know, climate change, it really rains hard now when it rains. You do not want to be driving around when it rains anymore. None of this light sprinkly stuff. At least some part of it is usually really downpoury. So anyway, the girls and I are having a wonderful time. They've had bacon for breakfast every day. I did buy granddaughter junk food that they like to eat, so they're not having to eat keto. Very hard. Oh, excuse me. Very hard to find too many keto. Oh, what? But they like hot dogs. Last night they were starving at like 9:30, and I made them pork roll, and they love pork roll, so that worked very well. And Sammy was still hungry, so she had a peanut butter spoon, which worked very well. So everything is working out really nicely, and we're having such a good time. I went to bed early. They stayed up late. They went to bed when Dabby went to bed, which is like 1:15. They slept late this morning. That is not typical for them. I don't think Isabel got up till 9 o'clock. Sammy, it was even a little bit later. So, yeah. And Sam did not do any sleepwalking last night, so Aura did not have any company in her bed. Anyway. So I was talking to Isabel about maybe going to bed at midnight tonight. Oh, no. So we shall see. Meanwhile, I went to bed at 11. I was tired. Nana's getting tired out at camp, that's for sure. So I'm looking forward to a quiet day at home. Do some crafting. Maybe sit on the deck, because it's really nice out here. Really nice out here. Get the girls to put their shoes on. Get out of their jammies. Come outside. Yeah. So that's the plan. Oh, it is really nice out here. I got to check our hummingbird feeder. It may be empty. We weren't out here much yesterday. Wow. We were gone for 4 hours. Zooing. So there you go. Meanwhile, please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay sane.